Okay, we're back. New year, new time period of Godzilla, the Heisei era. Well,
That was planned out perfectly.
yeah, planned out perfectly. The first, well, this was
Because
probably
we
the first.
plan anything.
Well, this was the first time period where we could properly, where Godzilla was the first monster of the season. Remember, with the show, I started with Anguirus because otherwise, the whole Godzilla episode would be, and then Godzilla fought this monster we never talked about, and this monster we never taught about.
Oh
And
yeah, good point.
this is the first one where you know everything about Godzilla, and now this is the first new monster of the Heisei era. It we gotta go back to our roots, pun intended.
Wow,
I
really?
hate you.
You should have heard that noise. I hope you guys heard it.
uh,
If you guys
I
didn't
don't
catch it,
think I did.
oh, okay. You guys didn't catch it. Well, then hopefully the audience caught it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to edit that back in. But you know what? I'm
Well-
not gonna think about that.
hey, it's fine because even if you do have to edit in, we actually know what the monster is because
Yeah.
this thing was insane.
Well, the movie was insane. The monster really,
The monster was pretty insane too.
yeah.
Eh.
I mean, it's what happens when Japan meets Little Shop of Horrors.
Well,
Does anyone remember that movie, or did I just seriously date myself?
you date yourself.
You
Damn.
dated yourself.
Damn. Why? Okay. Continue. Let's move on.
Well, Biollante, this is what happened when they decide that, well, we gotta go back. We gotta give Godzilla a plant-based form. Because we got fire, we got water. We gotta make a plant-based Godzilla. Complete the whole Pokemon Pokédex here with Godzilla. So we'll get started. With the Heisei monster, they have a little gimmick to them where all of them have like a different form. They all transform into like different versions of themselves. We saw a little bit of this in the Showa era with Mothra. You know, the whole going from caterpillar to, moth form. But not that much else. I mean, I guess a little bit with Mechagodzilla when he got his head ripped off and he had a little head underneath it. I guess that could also be a transformation. But,
Seems more like a downgrade than a transformation.
well, they called it an upgrade in the movie, so.
I think it was just that they knew that Godzilla had a tendency to rip off heads.
Yeah, and they gave it a second head. That was pretty clever.
Yeah, they learned from their mistakes, so props.
They just should their third head. But, well, they kind of did. But anyway, Biollante has two forms. The first form you guys probably won't hear that. The audience probably will hear that. Is the rose form or the flower. I guess it's also called the flower beast form. So this one, and to get an image for those at YouTube, it's literally just a giant rose. It's
You know, it's too bad you can't use copyright music. You should have played that Steel song, "Your Roses in Bloom."
I don't know that song.
Damn. Okay.
I
All
don't
right.
know
So
if I
just
did
dating
either.
myself all the way around
Yeah,
here.
you're
Okay.
just dating yourself. Me
Yeah,
and Zano
no,
just
go,
like
go ahead, old man. Take it away.
It was in Batman Forever. Really?
Yeah, no, yeah.
You still have me lost. I may have watched
Batman
that movie
Forever,
once when I was 8.
Okay. Okay. You know what? I watched it when I was a kid too. I'm just saying I have better memories than
Whi-
both of you.
Which one with Batman Forever? Was that
The one with Val Kilmer.
who was the villain? I
The
gauged
Riddler.
them-
With Jim Carrey with
Okay.
the Riddler.
Jim Carrey,
The one
Riddler,
that I didn't
and-
watch that much with Two-Face, yes, because Two-Face had like a purple face.
Yeah, with Tommy Lee Jones,
Yeah,
who clearly
okay.
wanted to play the Joker.
but was forced into Two-Face.
Yeah, and still played it like the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, really, there was an entire music video with that bloody song. It was all over the radio for like months after the movie came out.
I didn't listen to the radio back then.
My parents did.
But
My parents did. It was all over. Hey, go ahead.
to get back to Biollante, it is a rose. A rose by any other name.
Has it always had teeth in the middle?
Yes, actually. You actually really gotta look, but it does have teeth in the middle.
I never noticed that while we're watching the movie.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either until I started pulling up these screenshots of it. But basically, one of the tendril, I guess to get to its stats first, it is possibly the heaviest of the Heisei I'm about to say Pokemon, Kaijus. It is 85 meters tall. So just to give you a reference, Godzilla is 80 meters tall. So this thing is taller than him. And it is heavier than him by anywhere between 60,000 to 100,000 metric tons. To compare it, Godzilla's only 50 metric tons. So it is bigger and heavier than Godzilla. It abilities. Well, I guess Zed, you're the Pokemon guy. What's Bulbasaur's main ability in his moveset when you first get it?
Fine Whip.
Yeah, there you go. Take a guess what this thing move is.
Okay, so this thing is just Fine Whip turned into a monster.
It literally is Fine Whip. Its tendril
Okay.
is its main component. It uses tendril not just for whipping, but they have mouths at the end. So they basically every one of its tendril is like a Venus flytrap that is slightly sentient, slightly in control, and mostly in control by the Greya Biollante. They can operate by themselves when they need to. It's kind of like King Ghidorah's heads in a sense of they can operate autonomously, but they all kind of answer to the hive mind that is Biollante, essentially.
Makes
however
sense.
the writer want them for that story.
There you go. And I think I said this during the movie. They put a giant plant against a radiation heat-breathing lizard.
Well, I guess that
Yeah,
brings
clearly
me
they should have watched Pokemon a little bit clearer because these types are all off.
I mean, I guess that brings me to the next one, which is beast form, which is the one we're used to, the giant version of it, the large, huge form of it, the one that looked like a plant version of Godzilla. This one's 120 meters tall and 200 metric tons, easily the heaviest, and get a better picture of it for those on YouTube. And like you said, Archimage, yes, we gotta keep to the whole Pokemon fire be grass be
God
water.
damn it.
I mean, okay, wait. Serious question.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Serious question for Zed.
Okay.
Zed,
Yeah.
considering this, would you classify this as Poke evolution or Digi evolution?
Oh, Pokemon evolution. It doesn't have a gun on its head yet.
Okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
He's
Science.
right. We won't get to the Digimon evolution till the next movie, if memory serves
frack's
correctly.
Okay, so we gotta change the theme song.
Because that one, yeah, this one is straight up Pokemon evolution because it goes from a rose to I guess
Alligator?
a weed, kind of. Like they called it the plant beast form, but
It looks more like an alligator.
it's,
Well, the mouth looks like an alligator. The rest looks like a plant.
it is a hybrid between Godzilla and essentially a plant. Yes. So along with its tendril, along with it losing its rose shape, now it's closer to Godzilla with a longer snout, more teeth, a more projected head going forward. Going over its powers. It does have other powers besides its tendril. I guess if you was going to make this a Pokemon, it would be a grass psychic type. Surprisingly enough.
The psychic part.
Yes, because it does have telepathy.
Okay, so it's Celebi.
Huh. Well, Celebi grant wishes. This don't really grant.
No, Celebi time travels.
Oh, is it time travel? No, the time travel kaiju is the next movie.
It is.
Oh crap! I just remembered what the next movie is.
We'll get to that one.
Okay.
So, to go over more of this kaiju's moveset, it have energy spores, which kind of make it immortal in a sense, even more so than Godzilla, because while Godzilla, they both have healing factor, I will argue Biollante kind of got a healing factor in overdrive. I mean, the fact that not Zed, Archimage, you said it with they're putting a plant type against a fire type kaiju and wondering what's going wrong. Here's the big thing. Biollante always come back.
That's true.
It get barbecued constantly, but it always come back. And that's mainly because of the energy spores. Whenever it get destroyed, it releases a bunch of spores. And unless you destroy all of the spores, it's just going to grow again.
A lot of horror monster movies have had that little problem.
Yep. And other thing to know about it is, of course, it does have the telepathy. We'll get to that when we're talking about the movie, which is a whole thing. Along with it really Zed, this is the closest we'll get to a kaiju that sound like a Pokemon moveset. Is if you had to take a guess, for another move for this kaiju Pokemon that is slightly poison related, but you can see a plant type having this. And disregarding poison powders.
Okay, you do realize how many grass types are also poison type, right?
Exactly.
I was gonna say, isn't there a move called Poison Smog or Poison Seed?
There is what is it? Poison powder?
Yep.
Shoot.
Well,
now I actually have to make sure. I don't remember.
There is poison powder. The one I'm thinking
Okay, it
of,
is poison powder.
This one, I think it is a Pokemon move that goes by a different name. Acidic Sap. Oh, Acid Sap. Acid.
There's a move called Acid Spray.
That's literally one of its moves.
Oh, great.
It sprays acid on its opponents and melts them down.
Okay.
Oh, and it also got another Pokemon move that is very useful for getting out of caves.
Did it learn Solar Beam?
It doesn't have Solar Beam.
Yeah, then it needs to. Then
what, does it have Dig?
It does have Dig. Zed got it. It got Dig. Oh, and it got another HM move for traveling.
Why?
It's not fly. That would be impressive.
After all the other shit we dealt with, it wouldn't have surprised me if it were fly.
It's not fly, but it's something. It's something that they gave to Pikachu in one of the game versions.
What didn't they give to Pikachu?
That narrows it. Surf.
There you go. It knows surf.
Wait. How does Pikachu use surf?
On a surfboard.
It was a gimmick. It was a stupid gimmick they did.
It's the same way they gave Pikachu fly. They gave Pikachu fly with two
they did
balloons.
a dumb gimmick. There is no logic to that one.
Yeah, and the one with surf was Pikachu on the surfboard.
Yes.
Okay.
But this Biollante is
that one I will not
amphibious.
even try to defend.
That's smart.
But Biollante, it is amphibious. It can dig underground. You don't really... The digging underground in the movie is kind of... you only see it when it emerges, but it is... In the games, it use dig a whole lot. That's like its main way of digging underneath people and attacking them. Amphibious, that goes without saying. It is, after all, a Godzilla. But other than digging it... It is kind of locked in. It is a plant, so it is kind of rooted down, pun unintended. So it's really not that agile of a kaiju. It's kind of locked into place wherever it's rooted down at. So,
well, technically, so is Doug Trio or Diglett.
Well, Duck Trio can at least move around. Basically, that's a good way to think about it, Archimage. That's kind of how Biollante move around. Is like a Duck Trio.
I still don't understand what's under. Like, what is the Doug Trio? The Diglett look like underneath the soil?
We don't want to ask what we don't want to know the answers to.
Probably, I'm curious. but I'm afraid to look that up because I know if I look that up, there's going to be a bunch of fan art and it's going to be absolute nightmare
It's
fuel.
usually of a
Actually, no. The fan art is usually that it's a buff body underneath
yeah,
there.
it's usually of a
How
very
is that
very
not-
buff body with a
How is that
Diglett
not
head.
nightmare fuel?
I don't know. It's just not. That's just the joke of it. Is that the joke of it is that it's this tiny thing, and underneath is just this giant thing that could destroy you.
Other
In
than-
reality, it's a mole, so it's probably just a mole's body underneath it.
That would look just
Although,
as weird.
if we're following the anime, there's nothing underneath it, considering Brock held one, and all he held was the rock.
Yeah, that was weird. You know what? Pokemon's weird. Let's just move on.
Other than that, Biollante do have the ability to do energy absorption, so it can kind of absorb Godzilla's atomic breath, just not very well with the fire aspect of it. I mean that.
So it can absorb radiation?
Yeah. Very easily, same way Godzilla can,
Just not the heat.
just not the fire. Yes.
Okay, kind of makes sense.
Because it can absorb energy, and absorbing energy and mutate like that's kind of how we get the flower beast, the beast form that we're looking at is they say that was a result of it absorbing Godzilla's radiation, was that it mutated it more to look like Godzilla with a mouth and a less flower look and a more Godzilla look, really. I mean, it's green compared to the flower that would, had like a red rose petal to it. So,
Yeah, that's true. And the
other
weird little stomach thing it's got going on there.
that's more of like a sack full of more than likely spores that's gonna just fly everywhere once it get ruptured. Other than that, it in some get into one of the comic books that it's on my to read list. I don't want to rush reading it because it looked like a good one called Godzilla Cataclysm. Biollante does have like plant life manipulation, so it can kind of control plant-based life forms. Now again, this one, Godzilla Cataclysm, if I'm remembering correctly, is supposed to be set in a post-apocalyptic world where Godzilla and all the kaijus kind of took over. So it kind of makes sense that the plant-based kaiju would take over all of the plant life on the planet.
Yeah, no, that would fit.
Especially when that plant-based kaiju is no lie. Biollante is pretty much the sister of Godzilla. That's the easiest way to put it. Biollante is basically a flower that was mutated with Godzilla's cells. Throw in a little strange psychic shenanigan with humanity, and you got literally another version, a female version of Godzilla that's a plant.
Well, I guess every family has a black sheep. Why not?
Oh,
a
this is not
hideous
even close
plant
to the black
monster?
sheep of the Godzilla family.
Yeah, no, this is the mutant plant monster version. Okay.
This is
I mean,
nowhere
clearly
close.
Godzilla's black sheep has to be a lot worse than this.
Yes. Oh, way worse. It
Yeah, of
kidnaps
course.
his kid. Of course it's worse.
Okay, that describes like 6 different monsters.
No! There's not too many monsters that can get away with kidnapping Godzilla's kid.
Technically, humans kidnapped Godzilla's kid once.
No, they just kind of found it. They just kind of found it, really. They did not
Yeah.
take it from him.
They took the bloody egg.
No, but it wasn't with Godzilla.
They still took it.
Yeah, from Rodan.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Godzilla's not exactly the best parent.
We'll get to that. We'll get to Godzilla parenting tactics when we get to that movie. Anyway, to get to the actual movie of Godzilla vs. Biollante, 1989. This is a strange movie. A very strange movie.
That's putting it mildly.
Well, let's see all the stuff we got. We got terrorists. We got psychic children. We have psychic plant-based life form. And well, let's just get into it. To recap, the last time we saw Godzilla, he was in a volcano. It was not a good day for him.
He's had worse.
This take place, I believe. Oh, what is this? This is literally 5 years since the events of the Godzilla return. In this one, basically they're trying to clean up after the whole Godzilla invading Tokyo, and this is kind of when they bring in the aspect of Godzilla leaves a radiation trail wherever he goes. This was in the original, the Showa era Godzilla, but they never really brought it up afterward. They only ever brought it up in the original 1954 Godzilla, where, everywhere Godzilla goes, he leave a trail of radiation poisoning. But they never really, because they made Godzilla into, like, the defender of Earth, they kind of stopped bringing that up in the Showa era. This one, they're bringing it back. So the Japanese government is doing cleanup of the area with Godzilla, getting all of his cells and some of his DNA that got left behind during the fights with the military. And during that time, other terrorist cells are trying to get Godzilla's DNA because they think they can weaponize it or use it. So it leads to a conflict between a random mercenary group and the Japanese Defense Force, and they actually do get away with stealing a sample of Godzilla's DNA, or I guess some of his organic matter, and then they get ambushed by some random mysterious terrorist who look like the
Americans stealing the Godzilla DNA?
So,
or am I remembering that wrong?
It was a team of American paramilitary soldiers working for a research organization called Biomajor that ambush and steals these cell samples. But then they get ambushed by this guy wearing the sunglasses who steals it and take it to the Republic of Saradia. That's a completely real country.
I'm sorry, one more time?
The Republic of Saradia. Saradia.
No, you don't have to spell it. Okay. Yeah, completely real country. Got it. It's right next to Alibaba and Shaka Dozuka.
Pretty much. And they decided to hire a whole team of Japanese scientists, essentially, to maintain their institute in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, of course, because, why would that stick out in any way? Hey, it's like, where's the evil villain's secret lair? Hey, could it be that thing with the villain's face on it?
Now, here's something
Maybe.
I found with that screenshot. Look at the parking lot.
Oh, that's a parking lot?
I don't know. Look how there's a right angle. Like, the parking lot's going up to the wall. I assume that was a parking lot. I don't know what that is.
Oh, I thought that was just some weird design on the roof to make it look more techno.
It's bullshit. Just keep moving.
Okay, to keep moving. So basically, they are trying to the Saradia Institute is trying to basically use Godzilla cells because they hope that using Godzilla cells combined with plant life, they will make a new form of plant life that will be able to survive in the harsh environment of their country, such as the desert.
And wait.
Yes.
I remember this plot.
Yes, because a plant that can withstand radiation can grow in the desert. That makes perfect sense.
I think the logic was basically Godzilla could survive anywhere. So if they somehow found a way to mass together plant and Godzilla DNA, it would be able to adapt to any environment.
I get the logic in that,
Okay.
but also part of his adaptation, as they mentioned in this movie, because they left it out in the other movies, but you said specifically they're mentioning in this movie leaves behind radiation, meaning if they did make a plant that could survive like Godzilla, but let's say it didn't go crazy and try to eat people, it would by probable necessity, leak toxic radiation everywhere, making it completely unedible.
I don't even know if they were going for eating it because, again, originally they were splicing it with roses. So I don't even think they was getting close to the eating aspect of it yet.
Okay, then they were going to make a rose field that nobody could get close to without... They were making the poppy field from Wizard of Oz, only instead of putting you to sleep and waking you up with asbestos, it was going to make your hair fall out, your teeth fall out, and you die a slow and grisly death.
I mean, that is a good defense deterrent from any enemy armies invading your country. But
fair enough.
Anyway, the Biomajor agent do figure out who ambushed them. They decide to launch a bombing on this institute, and it leads to the female scientist being pretty much killed in the explosion. And basically, we fast forward 5 years. Godzilla is basically about to get. There's a lot of shenanigans going on with the with basically the terrorist organization. Well, with Biomajor Company and that terrorist organization all fighting for Godzilla cells. There's a whole subplot behind that where basically, I believe it was the Biomajor threatened that they would blow up the volcano where Godzilla is being held if they couldn't get cells of Godzilla. And or was it the terrorist organization? It's like a whole little minor subplot of that going on. I think it was the Biomajor agent trying to do all of that. And needless to say, Godzilla do get back out. He goes on a rampage. I mean, because he's been stuck in a volcano for 5 years, I would be pretty pissed off too.
I mean, yeah.
During that whole debacle, while the lead scientist was killed in the bombing, essentially, he got psychically imprinted onto the Godzilla splice rose cell. Again, it's really I mean, this is a really confusing movie in the sense of it's just kind of out there. I mean, go figure that this would be more confusing than the whole all the Showa era monster, like the cyclops, the cybernetic cyclops with hooks for hand and a chainsaw for a belly, or the giant stag beetle with drills for hands. This one's literally okay. So they splice Godzilla DNA with a rose, and then a psychic human somehow imprinted her consciousness into that flower, and it eventually mutated into what would become Biollante.
So they were trying to make it more realistic, clearly.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Alchemist, because people refer to the Heisei as the more realistic Godzilla. I'm like, the hell it is.
I mean, all of that made perfect sense to me as long as you don't think about it at all.
You really can't think about this that much. I would say that the human plots are more interesting than the Showa era because they actually do give emphasis to the characters. Like the scientist, if I recall correctly, the scientist who got killed in the bombing was I believe the sister to Miki, the our favorite psychic from the previous movie. But
this doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much we came here to watch Godzilla get out of the volcano. He got out of the volcano. That's all we care about. We wanted to know how he was going to get out of the volcano. Random terrorists from a plant-based organization in America decided to blow up a volcano with some ecological terrorists because they couldn't get his cells. That's how he got out of the volcano. There you go. Now he's out of the volcano.
Okay, well,
these are all entirely steps of logic.
Yes.
To be fair, this movie does teach us one very important thing. All hippies are wrong. Nature wants us dead, and we need to kill it first. That's what I learned from this movie.
Well, there really wasn't much hippies in this movie. I mean, all the
No,
people
I
you
said all
saw.
hippies in general are wrong, which I just threw in there for the heck of it. But this movie taught me nature wants us dead, and we need to kill it before it kills us.
If this movie teaches anything about nature, it's like don't fuse nuclear empowered monsters with nature, otherwise you're gonna get a very nasty combination by the end of the day.
I mean, if anything, the lesson should be don't screw with nuclear-powered lizards.
That too, but it doesn't stop people from doing that. To get back on track, Godzilla's pretty much going on the rampage. He's destroying the army. It's back to where it was in the previous movie. He's just walking his way through the military, making a beeline straight for Tokyo.
Somehow walking in the ocean with no foreseeable logic to that.
Okay, is he like part carrier pigeon that just homes in on Tokyo?
In this case, the reason he's going straight for Japan is because he's going for nuclear power sources. And I didn't make this a big enough point, but I should make it now. The previous movie, Godzilla Return, they make it a big point that Japan was beginning their age of nuclear energy. They were opening up new nuclear power plants. And I think I did mention in the previous movie, he made a beeline straight for that nuclear power plant to feed on it. So pretty much he see Tokyo, not New York, he see Japan and Tokyo and that whole area as his like feeding ground, because that's where the closest source of radiation is, compared to having to swim all the way across the Pacific in the other direction towards the U.S. And I think with Japan, they specifically said they were doing new type of nuclear energy in this Godzilla universe. So that's why he's going after them more.
I mean, I'm game.
Sure.
They bring back the X2 now upgraded, called the Super X2. This was the giant aircraft carrier that they used against Godzilla in the previous movie. They did give it an upgrade. They gave it this thing called a fire mirror, where basically it will absorb Godzilla's radiation. Not his radiation, but his atomic breath, and redirect it back at him. It does decently, for the most part. I mean, it does distract him. But the big terror is Godzilla's making a beeline straight for Biollante, because he sensed himself. He sensed another version of himself off in the horizon, so he's making a beeline straight for Biollante. They do meet. Biollante use Vine Whip. It's not very effective. Godzilla used Flamethrower. It's super effective. So...
Wait, you mean flamethrower defeats weed? Who would have guessed?
Yeah. Fire still beat grass in the Godzilla universe as well. So
Apparently, I'm shocked.
as Biollante dies, it does release a bunch of spores and virtually disappear among the flame. Godzilla is going through his rampage. He shoot down the Super X2. Again, it's Godzilla. He's been in a volcano for 5 years. He is undecided. He is easily pissed off. He wants to just kill everything. If I was stuck in a volcano for even a day, I think I would be ready to kill the first living thing that I see after I get out of that volcano. He's been in there for 5 years, so I say this is a reasonable response.
That's completely understandable. Yeah, no, 100%.
And just like with Pokemon, what do we do when a Pokemon is being defeated? We evolve it. So Rose Biollante evolve into Biollante Beast Form. It's round 2 with Godzilla. It does put up more of a fight with Godzilla. The tendril are more aggressive. It is piercing Godzilla's skin. It's tying him up. It does literally not only does it tie him up, but it also does shoot acid in his face and start to burn him. Not melt him, but do burn him very aggressively. So it got some more super effective moves on Godzilla. His Vine Whip is a little bit stronger. His acid spray is a little bit more effective.
Yeah,
But
clearly Godzilla needed to earn a few more badges to get those moves.
a few more, and again, acid spray to the face is kind of a not a fun move to have done to you.
I would imagine.
But ultimately, we know the name of the game. Godzilla used flamethrower. It's super effective. Biollante pretty much burns into a bunch of spores. But to go back to the human subplot, they deployed a type of weapon on Godzilla. They let me get the name right. Um the anti-nuclear energy bacteria, which argument you know more about this than I do. Apparently there is actually bacteria that is supposed to be able to feed off of nuclear waste or energy or something like that, because I did look this up. It had like a wiki page for it. I didn't go into detail, but there is supposed to be
Um,
bacteria that can break down nuclear energy to help clean up atomic waste that people have been looking into.
um, okay, so yes, there are bacteria that do kind of feed off radiation is a strong word.
It's more break it
Um,
down from my
yeah,
understanding, and it doesn't do it at a huge rate that is enough
no,
for us to make it viable.
it's incredibly slow. But more of less, it's more resistant to radiation. So, like the big thing about radiation is it breaks down the cell bonds. So this material, like these bacteria, are able to withstand it. Um, withstand lethal radiation and kind of use it more for its production, but it's not much and it's so slow.
In this case, they kind of try use it to essentially slow down Godzilla by feeding off of his nuclear energy, which again, it's very slow acting. We have, again, we gotta go movie logic. They found a faster acting version of this bacteria, but it's still very slow. It doesn't seem very effective against Godzilla's healing factor. Well, the fight with Biollante did weaken Godzilla enough that it seemed like that this anti-nuclear energy bacteria did start to take effect, and Godzilla essentially passed out while heading back to the sea. So at this point, they kind of think they won, they saved the day, but they also have to deal with the let's not forget that terrorist, Mr. Sunglasses, who ran around, stealing Godzilla DNA. They have to catch him
Right.
because, hmm?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, well, he also they catch him, um, in the worst possible way. He steps on while they confront him, he steps on a electrical mine that they had kind of set up for Godzilla, and they kind of hit him with it, which basically atomize him. Which
Yeah.
seems like overkill to me, but
Overkill. Decimation would be overkill because that would still leave a tenth of them left. This was obliteration.
yeah, no, he disappeared.
Like, damn. Okay.
So, um, other than that, um, Godzilla do wake back up, but he decide that, you know what, burning down half of Tokyo and having to fight a plant-based version of myself, a clone plant-based version of myself twice. You know what? It's been enough of a day. I'm gonna go home. They think that what woke him up was the ocean cooled down his body enough, or somehow weaken the bacteria enough for Godzilla to wake back up.
Yeah. Oh, just say another issue with that bacteria is it's found thriving in natural uranium deposits, so getting it's not exactly easy.
Nah. Yet in this universe where we got a giant radioactive lizard walking around, I'm pretty sure a couple of people getting cancer from uranium is the least of their concern at this point.
That's true. I mean, let's face it. If we remember from the 1950s movie, all those people standing that close to Godzilla, they've got about 2 weeks to live now.
Pretty much. But other than that, that's pretty much Biollante in a nutshell. I did if I didn't mention it before, again, Biollante suppose once Godzilla bake it again, it does go up into space. Which leads people to think that it caused the next iteration of Godzilla to come around from space. But we'll get to that when we get to that Godzilla's movie. Other than that, that's kind of Biollante in a nutshell. It's I try to be the hype man for all the monsters for each of these episodes. Biollante kind of doesn't have I love Biollante design. I think its design when it's in beast form is really amazing to look at. A whole alligator like plant-based monster. It looked kind of like Feraligatr, Zed, with its mouth being so long and protruding outward.
Yeah.
It is some interesting notes about it. It is the heaviest. It's the second heaviest Toho monster in the Heisei era. It's only going to be superseded by one other Heisei monster, which ironically enough is another Godzilla clone.
I was actually gonna ask if it was that one, but thank you for confirming.
Yeah, it's gonna be that one. Other than that, it's also the tallest of the Toho monsters at this point. So like when it first debuted, it was the tallest and the heaviest monster of Toho. Now it's been beaten by other like Godzilla Earth. It easily is taller and heavier than it, but it was when it first came out, it was the heaviest and the tallest monster so far.
That is surprising, actually.
Yeah, so it was larger than life. It's also the only kaiju is the only enemy kaiju in the Heisei era that cannot fly, that fights Godzilla. Every other monster we're gonna see from this point onward is going to be able to fly.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, just think about it. Every one of them can fly in some shape or form.
About it. Huh, good point.
That right. I didn't know.
Never thought about it.
Biollante is also the first monster to ever be created using Godzilla's DNA. Is going well,
that'd be the last.
Now I gotta put asterisk. There was another monster, very obscure, from a 1958 Godzilla. Well, not even Godzilla, but from a 1958 manga that used Godzilla's DNA. The monster Raban. It technically
the monster what?
Raban, Raban. It was
okay, so that's what you're saying. All right.
Yeah, I've never read this manga. I've heard this monster, but I never really knew much about it. It's maybe if people want, we'll do an episode dedicated to it. It'll be a short, probably 2-slide episode because it's a short manga. It was really a gimmick manga, so it was never really serious. But I guess Biollante is not the first monster to use Godzilla DNA, but it is the first monster on the big screen to use Godzilla's DNA.
That worked.
Other than that, Biollante is the first female kaiju in the Heisei era. Is also the first female kaiju that was not a bug.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I thought you were gonna say first female kaiju, and I was like, wait a minute, isn't Mothra? And I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the first female kaiju that is not a bug. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it with Biollante. Biollante is kind of, again, I like the monster. I think it's underutilized very greatly because ultimately it always gets summed up as plant-based is a plant version of Godzilla, which it is. It is literally a clone version of Godzilla that is a plant. Um, it is very now. It has huge implications in the sense of it's it's essentially immortal because unless you can destroy all of its seeds and its spores, it's gonna always come back.
Gross.
Um, and
So New
those
York cockroach.
I would say even more determined because even those spores can survive in space. So they don't, they can survive in a vacuum. So they're not. But other than that, Biolanta's kind of also got a very limited move set. It is a plant, so all it really can, other than its tendrils, its acid spray, in some iteration, it does have poison and poison powder. But again, poison powder doesn't really do much good against Godzilla since he got a huge healing factor. But against other monsters and humans, is a little bit more effective. Um, but and then there was this one whole comic book issue where Biolanta has a type of syrup that can be used to mind control people, which again lends towards this whole psychic aspect, which doesn't really get explored that much. We'll bring up that whole comic book issue in a whole nother episode because the reason I didn't bring up that comic is because it's tied to another monster, and I feel like that other monster would be better to talk about that comic during the other monster story. So at this point, not that much really else to say about Biolanta. Is a very interesting design, but not really used that much outside this movie. Um, really, other than that, like I think this movie was the only real movie it was in. It's mentioned in other movies, but it's never really. We don't really ever see it again outside the comic books.
Unless the new Godzilla movies decide to bring it back somehow.
There is hints maybe because I guess and this be the last thing before we bring in the before I show off the next monster for the next episode. Um the new Legendary Godzilla, the current Godzilla movies that's been coming out. Spoilers, I guess. They kind of already reveal what the new monster is going to be in the next Godzilla movie. I think it's gonna be called Godzilla. Oh, what was it gonna be called? No, I don't think they came out with a name for it yet. But essentially they kind of already hinted, reveal, and again, spoilers. Skip it if you don't want to hear it. That is gonna be Space Godzilla,
Yeah, that's what I heard.
and not only that, many fans think Biolanta could be the other monster that show up because I guess again, spoilers for when we do Space Godzilla, it is hinted that Biolanta is the reason Space Godzilla was created.
Right.
Again, debatable. We'll get into that theory when we get to Space Godzilla, but Biolanta does seem like it could easily be a legendary monster because the whole aspect of the legendary monsters are they are nature taking back the planet.
Oh, I thought they
Biolanta.
were pure insanity.
No. The kaiju.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm-
Because that would make sense. Biolanta is literally just Godzilla, a plant-based Godzilla. It would make sense for Biolanta to be um the kaiju to be shown off as you could easily do the story of Biolanta deemed humanity is no longer worthy of being on the planet and tried to wipe out all of humanity, and Godzilla's gotta stop it.
Yeah, Godzilla would be pissed because Godzilla's going, hey, these humans made my nice, comfortable Coliseum bed. Leave them alone.
Pretty much. I think that would be the entire aspect of it.
I'm sorry. I don't know why. I still find it hilarious that Godzilla sleeps in the Coliseum. I don't know why I find that funny, but I find that hysterical.
Again, it was as close to the size of his original bed that they blew up.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm all for it. Like, by all means, use the Coliseum to house a giant monster. You know, it strangely fits. I'm just like, I don't know why I find that funny, but I do. It's funny to me that he sleeps in the Coliseum. I can't explain to you why it's funny. I
Most
legitimately
people
can't.
really do like it. They do like the aspect of Godzilla sleeping in the Coliseum. They think it's a really cool aspect. There were so many memes about it when it first happened.
I know, right?
Other than that, any other thing you guys want to bring up about Biollante? The we now we completed the Godzilla entry level Pokemon. Now we got Godzilla's always been a water type and a fire type, and now we made it plant type. So we can easily do a Godzilla starter Pokemon edition now.
So okay, so Godzilla's probably Charmander. Biolanta's clearly Bulbasaur. Who's Squirtle in this?
Gamera. Really, it could be Godzilla. It could just be a Godzilla. It could be the original Godzilla. Any Godzilla that lives in the ocean, which is all of them.
Eh.
Well, other than that, like you said, Archimedes, the story of Godzilla vs. Biollante is very weird with psychic people, terrorist organization, new countries being made up. Now we'll get to something more grounded with the next monster. A return from an old favorite that we remember from last time. And this time will be more grounded. It'll just be time travel. Completely grounded.
We're going back to ancient Greece to fight the Hydra with Hercules.
Oh, too
Yes!
far back.
Aw.
Too far. Way too far.
But James Woods was going to do puns.
No, way too far with that one. Oh, no, way too far. Well, yeah, we're not going that far back. But other than that, we'll get to the next time we see everyone. We'll be doing King Ghidorah again. Get used to this. King Ghidorah is a recurring villain. We're always going to be fighting King Ghidorah.
Tell me about it.
But go back to the classic, and King Ghidorah does work. So next time we'll be doing the Heisei version of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah.
Yep, and King Ghidorah will be in a hairy situation.
Yeah, hairy isn't the word I would use for it, but yeah, okay.
I'll come back to what I meant by that.
Okay, I think I know what you meant, but we'll get to it when we get to that.
We'll get to that, yeah.
Is there any last word before I close this out?
Okay, well, hang on.
Okay.
If King Ghidorah is a dragon type, what's his secondary type?
Oh, electric.
Okay.
Yeah, that fits.
You could technically do flying, but
Eh.
yeah, there's a lot with Dragonite. You got. Yeah, you could do.
That's the same thing as all the normal flying birds.
Yeah.
Birds already fly, they don't need the normal type. Dragons already fly, they don't need the flying type.
Yeah, I feel electric would be the best for King Ghidorah just because of the gravitational beams that look like lightning. Trying to think what other typing would fit. And Biollante is easy. Biollante would easily be, plant poison.
Yeah, it's grass poison.
Was Pokemon just made up by Godzilla fans?
They did copy it a lot. Because there is a we'll get to this next episode, but there is a Pokemon that is straight up a ripoff of King Ghidorah. I can't remember the name. Zed probably remember the name of that dragon type. That's the dragon dog type.
It's Hydreigon, which is based off of a Hydra, and actually its original inspiration was Orochi.
Yet it has 3 heads, it has a wing, it levitate off the ground. And each head operate almost autonomously from each other.
Yeah, I kind of got to side with Shadow Arc.
I'm not saying it's not based off Ghidorah. I'm just saying the other things it's based on.
We'll throw in a copy of it, and I'll leave a note to myself to throw in a copy, so we'll let Archimage decide when he see it.
Sounds good.
Okay, see y'all in the next episode.
Later.